Selamlar. Bu video serisinde Counter-Strike tarihindeki unutulmaz maçları Türkçe'ye çevirip sizi nostaljik bir yolculuğa çıkarıyoruz. Lütfen beğeni bırakıp abone olmayı unutmayın.
Absolutely not, because I am actually invested in both these teams. I'd love to see Turkey win this, considering, of course, they've brought this heart, they've brought this passion in Canada. Well, they have a special place in my heart, Megan.
We were kind of talking about this prior, is that Turkey is here because of certain things that have happened at the end of the qualifiers, and then they just come in here and they've been stomping almost every single person. So really cool to see. Looks like we're going to see an execution in towards the inner bomb site. This is the first time I've gotten to cast Train so far at the tournament, and I'm really looking forward to it. But they've got a heavy amount of arsenal here in the inside train yard. It's Major, Zanteris, and Paz, and they just lock it down. Maybe a party gift and a bomb plant, but not a frag was had from Canada.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That push, I mean, what can you say? Turkey just landing the shots. And I mean, the damage was dealt from Canada, right? Major dropped to 12, Zantair sitting only at 2 at the end of the engagement. So there is this kind of, sliver of damage that separates them going down as opposed to all the Canadians. But it was a slaughterhouse at the bottom of that ramp. Now, of course, Canada going towards the B site may have just been looking for that bomb plant. If they're lucky, they'll push further into the bomb yard, or train yard, excuse me, and find those kills if they can close the distance. But look at this, Turkey not joking around. 4 M4s straight out the gates. No SMGs.
They've spent all of their money on 4 out of the 5 players. Despe's sticking with the P250 because he wants to get that AWP as soon as he can. He knows with that bomb plan that Canada's going to be looking for that third round buy. And as a terrorist side start, if you don't pick up that pistol round, getting that third round buy to be able to start stringing rounds together early on and start decimating the economy for the CTs is very crucial. And we'll see if Canada can actually do that moving forward. But Despe, the Lone Ranger, the Lone Pistolero on the CT side, is going to be able to find Android to kick things off this round.
Yeah, there's still 3 players over here towards Ivy. Only 1. Calix landing 2 excellent shots before Davey finds the headshot onto him. So that's going to be 2 pistol kills, this time 1 for Canada. But it is just Davey, the man himself, left standing. And he's over here towards Ivy. They know exactly where he was. Of course, nobody has rotated in towards T-Con, so they don't have confirmation. But at this point, Turkey can just lie in wait. And Despe won't even have to. It's going to be Davey to try to take that fight. He loses out, as expected, of course, only on those P250s. But this is the round we were waiting for.
Yeah.
And it's AKs already. And they'll be able to supplement not only the rifles, but then have those bits of utility as well. 3 smoke grenades is enough to not only play a fake, they don't have to commit if things go south off the initial pushes.
And another big thing, too, is that even though 1 player dropped from Turkey, they were able to salvage his M4. So no loss of economy from the Turkish side.
Yep.
And you see the AWP is already in play from Despe. So Turkey reads the situation properly. They've got all the tools that they need. They're going to be able to answer all of the questions that Canada asked them going into this round. And we'll see exactly where they do decide to gear up. There's a little spam down here at Ivy, so they're letting their presence known. And there are 3 players over there, but there it is. Starting off is going to be Despe. Frag comes out in towards T-Con. HE Grenade's going to go down to Ivy, and that's actually going to destroy Twist. Takes him down 52 points of health. And they're actually doubling up on the Turkish side over by Ivy. And Ocean, that's not Ocean.
Davey 4 Ocean.
Davey 4 Ocean, okay. I saw the Ocean at the end of his name there, but this is not a good look for Canada starting this one off. Even insult to injury through the smoke, and Despe, that AWP wreaking havoc onto the Canadians. 3 kills for him on the round. We were talking about Zanteris, but you heard the player to watch from Risk. He was talking about Despe for a little bit there.
Yeah, by all means, right? They said that, of course, he is that consistency, and that Zanteris, as he is also consistent, can be the more explosive of the 2. But by all means, don't take it away from the man, as clearly he is capable of finding those frags. And Canada still with very few kills. 4 players at 0.
I feel bad for Calix because he's the only one on Turkey's side that's died.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right? But it's going to be pistols for Canada once more. 4 P250s and a Tech 9. So the bare bones minimum coming into round number 4. It's going to be Major over here towards the B site. He's going to be making contact as he does have support from Zanteris over towards Connector. With his eyes on the ramp, it should be able to isolate Canada's push. But 5 players all grouping up from the upper. And Major caught with an 8 in hand is going to let them out. Twist finding 1 off the Tech 9, but it's Zanteris with a double of his own. And already he's spotting more players. So he's found the 3rd and now the 4th, looking for the ace, but Despe takes it. It's Turkey again with another round, but Canada successful in their endeavor. They find that bomb plant to cushion their next purchase.
Yeah, that's mission accomplished. Even getting the frag onto Major when they were pushing into the site, which was necessary for them to be able to get the bomb plant. But in the grand scheme of things, they drop a gun, they force a rebuy, and they get the bomb plant. So now you can see Simphis has got money to get onto the AWP. They're going to have decent, if not full, utility on 4 out of the 5 players. So this is going to be the first real big buy that we're going to get into this. Now, granted, we saw an AK round with the Galil support, but they didn't have a lot of nades to work with. And you can see on a map like Train how important it is to have that utility. You want to be able to smoke off your choke points. You want to be able to molly these CTs, these pesky CTs, out of spots. And that missed smoke could have been detrimental if anybody was actually going towards Ivy at the beginning of this. Luckily for the Turkish side, nobody's going to be over there to get a clear vantage point because that smoke was a little bit of a faux pas. But for now, it's going to be slow play from Canada. They're going to be looking to do some damage into this round and hopefully pick up a round early on in this half because we're only 5 rounds in.
Yeah,
Lots
exactly.
of game left.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I mean, it is the T side of Train, so maybe not looking to have that numbers advantage moving forward, but you need at least a couple. And of course, the problem with them not winning the pistol round is now they have to find those few rounds that they absolutely need within the gun rounds themselves, right? So that's going to leave an anomaly for Turkey heading into the second half, but again, it's very far away. Turkey still with 5 players up, holding fast. 3 players still over here towards A as they keep that attention towards Ivy, and they should. It's still Semphis with that op looking for the pick, but the first frags belongs to Major. He's going to get caught, however, trying to go for the pop flash, and Davey capitalizing on the opportunity for the trade frag brings us back into the equalized 4v4.
Yeah, and you can actually see how that's going to thin out the defenses. Now they've only got 1 player, but it's Xanteris over in the B-bomb site to try and defend this as they encroach on that position. You can see they've picked up the bomb out of T-Con. They're going to start making their way in towards the inside train yard. And with the longer that this takes, the more Turkey is going to start, we have no information. So somebody's going to have to make an information play, or once this smoke goes out on the sidewalk, that they're going to be pushing on in for this one. There's the pop flash down onto the ramp, and they're going to make their presence known. And Paz going to be playing from the Z hallway, looking for it. But Xanteris, this off angle, there's one, looking for a second, not going to get it. So it's even trades again, 3-on-3, but Kalix sweeps in. He's going to be able to find Android, and the bomb has been dropped. And Semphis misses the shot. It's going to be all on Davey. I'm not really sure how he even missed that shot, but with 4 seconds left, he will get at least the parting gift of the bomb plant. He is getting pushed upon from all angles, and the wallbang actually comes out from Despe to shut down the round, and Turkey are going to take a 5-0 lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, of course, that they're not able to get that bomb plant straight out the gates. Could have shaved away a couple more seconds and allowed them to fall on back. But 3 players have to commit to picking up and re-picking up that bomb. It's just Canada kind of bottlenecked and contained within the site itself, not able to, push in towards those train yards, not able to find that after plant positioning. So it's an easy cleanup from Turkey as they, as you said, extend to the 5-0 lead. But luckily for Canada, that bomb plant is enough to justify a buy, although Twist does not have armor right now.
Yeah, something for you guys to note. He actually dropped the AWP for Semphis, so otherwise he would have had money for an AWP for armor behind that one. But looks like we are going to see a little bit of a connection towards outside, but it's going to be Major to open things up. Semphis is there for the trade, but again, Twist with no armor, they're going to barrel on in towards the inside train yard and see what they can possibly do. They've got one over here by the Z hallway. They're going to be able to spot that out, but not going to be able to get the shot. Xanteris is going to take a long-range battle. Twist wins that. Semphis with good cover is going to keep Twist alive for a little while longer, and they are going to infiltrate in towards the inside train yard. Semphis is going to be able to find another one. I don't know if you can hear my casting partner clapping because it looks like Canada's going to get the first round, but Despe has other plans. He's going to be able to find 2 more picks, but it's going to be Davey. This is what we talked about before, the lurk roll from Davey. He does it well.
Yep.
And even with 14 HP, he's going to be able to sweep around from the back of the Z hallway and find that frag and finally finish that one off. And Despe, you see it right here. I mean, this man has come to play. He's right up there with Xanteris as far as the frags are concerned.
Yeah.
Actually one above him at 9-1. That's the only round that he's died in. So
I mean, earlier today I had the opportunity to talk with Dushan, one of our analysts here at eFrag, and he had mentioned how Davey's inclusion, now that he has arrived at the event, helps Canada in the sense that he fills that lurking role.
Yes.
He does that well. So as opposed to Ocean overlapping with Daps, it's now up to him, and it's going to be a nice addition. But Despe, he's adding things up himself, racking up the first, and now it's going to be Paz to find the second frag for Turkey. 3 players left and make it 2 as Twist also drops to the shots of Xanteris. Android attempting to give some cover as Davey pushes towards the bomb site, but again, it is just Turkey all across the kill feed, and 5 players remaining as they reset Canada. That one has to hurt, because not only did Canada lose the round following their victory, but even when they won, it was only Davey left standing.
yeah, and like you said, I mean, that stings the most because this is a full economic reset. I mean, you can see Semphis is on $1,100. He buys down a P250, so going into the next round, he's not going to have an AWP. I'm actually surprised that they didn't go for like a force with armor and pistols, just because this is potentially double safe territory. We'll have to see how it pans out for him. They've had some decent success going inside, but Major just, I mean, that throws a spanner in the works for him right there. He's going to be able to peek out again from this one. Finds the opener, looking for a second, will get it, switches over to the secondary. They don't have armor, so he's just going to tap away Simphis. Takes him down, Android around the box, looking for the fourth. Still hasn't been able to connect it. 4 bullets, flashbang comes in from his teammate, and that actually eyes on that a little bit, but Xantares was getting hungry for some frags, said I don't want Major to have everything, so he's going to come up there and sweep Android under the rug. It's all down to Davey 1 versus 4. Not a lot he's going to be able to do in this situation with the limited firepower. He doesn't even have control of the bomb as it's dropped in or upper, and there's 2 players that are both watching that right now as they're just going for a head stack. 2-man stacks are so the 80s.
Yeah, that's true. But Ocean, he's going to try his bet.
Ocean?
Davey, God, it got me too.
Here it comes.
We're even. Xantares stacked up. That is not what he expected rounding the
It was
corner.
at this moment
absolutely
Davey
sure.
knew he messed up.
Absolutely right. But this was excellent marksmanship here from Major. This second shot to Daps is excellent. And then the third one, that pistol one tap onto Simphis is just, you know, icing on the cake. Sit down, Simphis. And, I mean, what scares me now at this point is that Turkey already have changed up their pace of play.
Yes.
Now, maybe it's, of course, because they've read into the economy and they expect that save that we see Major get aggressive up towards the top of Brown Halls. But if it's not for that reason and instead the confidence that Turkey are coming into this one, they're not going to be respecting Canada's play style. They're not going to be respecting their presence on the map. And it's at that point that things kind of get scary because that's when the snowball effect can really take over. Now, luckily for Canada, they do at least have 2 primary weapons into this round, but it is still 3 pistols, and that's most of their utility. They do still have 1 smoke on Daps as they start to execute out, but Xantares, that's an excellent little boost there. I've never seen that.
Yeah, put him right on top of the bomb site. He's just going to be able to peer down over the smokes, finds one, not able to convert the second one. Simphis gets in on the action as well, so we're down to a 2v3, but HP values not favoring the terrorist side, and Calyx, he's doing his best to stay alive. He's going to sweep right into Daps' loving embrace, and he will go down. And now you can see they're taking the battle from the back lines, and Major with the flank comes in. 8-1 now for Turkey. And I got to say, I don't like that buy. I don't like that idea. I would have liked to see Canada actually force into the round before that with pistols and armor, maybe try to get a bomb plant and have a more formidable buy.
Exactly.
Because you can see Daps has already bought up an AK into this round. They're forcing because now they need to put rounds on the board. And this buy is actually going to be better than the last, but it's still, I mean, you're so limited. You've got 2 pocket AKs to go with the 3 rifles that you have. But if they would have forced 2 rounds to go with pistols and armor, they would have had the economy to go for a full AK buy in the last round.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I don't understand. They play it as if they're saving economically and then go in for this quite heavy investment in the previous round. Now,
yeah, and it's a deagle and a couple of pistols.
And they don't even find themselves that bomb plant to kind of justify it, unfortunately, because, of course, Xantares had that nice little cheeky boost.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's not take anything away from Turkey. They're reading
Excellent
these
reaction.
situations very, very well. I mean, you can obviously tell that Canada is well rehearsed on this map with the smoke plays and everything like that, but I mean, Turkey is, like I said, they're answering all of the questions that Canada is asking right now. And with that being said, we're going to see the push coming towards inside. And, oh, you're standing in the fire, Major. Okay, he gets out of it. He was just giving him a little bit of a handicap as they got twist down very, very low. Pop flash through the smokes. Xantares is going to hunt. He spots some toes. Simphis is going to win that spam battle. So at least it goes 1 for 0 to start things off. And I think Daps might have just spotted a player in the back of the train yard, which is Paz.
And I mean,
this position for Major is going to be really important.
Yeah, it could very well be catching Canada off guard if they do push down, but remember, of course, that he was tagged from that Molotov, so if, of course, it does come to the trade frags, it should be able to go Canada's way. There's no way he should be allowed 2 frags from that position. It's a one-and-done spot. And Davey's going to be starting to bring it out towards A, but it's just, of course, the fake, as Android finds the refrag on towards Major. Despe off the op does take 1 down in the process, and it's Paz from the back of the train line now to lay down his own lead. 2 players still standing on the side of Canada, but both incredibly tagged, and now there's only one, as it's going to be just Simphis tapping away to the back line, but Despe with the defense completely holds that one damn near on his own. 3 frags in the round, and it gives Turkey number 9.
Despe's been very impressive right here with this AWP so far, and that's what I told you, like, the X factor for Turkey is going to be is that AWP play. We saw it briefly on Cash earlier when they played. This time around, I mean, and I say briefly because that was like a 16-1 victory or something like that, a complete blowout. I think they played against Tunisia, who have had their own struggles. But, I mean, Despe coming alive with the off, that's a scary thing. When you've already got the firepower of Xantares, who a player that I'm sure that you guys at home are sick of hearing us hype up, but this is one of the up-and-coming rising stars, especially in the Turkish scene, let alone across the world. But it's one of those kind of things where it's like very impressive player, and that is a nice opening from Daps. He gets out in front of the Molotov and the smoke and is able to find that opening pick. And now he's got a now you can see how the rotate is going to come in from the CTs, because now they have to worry about this player that's in the inside train yard. They find a pick on Ivy, so they know that these players are all over the place. But with Paz finding that frag on Daps, that's going to at least solidify the fact that now they can kind of split the defenses and know that they've only got to deal with 2.
Unfortunately, that's exactly right. Canada lose a player on both sides of the map. So again, if you lose only one, then it could still be as though they are in that direction, but instead they try to rotate down towards B without Daps being a part of the equation, and well, that's how it pans out. Paz lines him up and he knocks him down with absolute ease at that. I mean, not even able to refrag back towards Turkey. It's now a 9-point lead, and this has been not only a bit of a stomping thus far, but a very fast half.
Yeah.
These rounds have been quick. It's not as though people are really burning down the clock, which is something that you can do on train, right? Because if Turkey starts second-guessing their positioning around the map, and the difficulty of getting those players to the B site on time, then it's very possible, of course, that Canada could very well make an opening, but that's not the case here and now. And Canada don't have this double op setup though, so a bit of a transition within their approach to the T side. We've got a minute and a half still to play these picks, but it's Despe again on the opposite side, and that's not someone you want to op battle with.
Yeah, and they've gone for this head stack again over by Ivy, so as soon as the smoke fades and they try to take a pick down towards Olaf, towards Ivy, it's going to be very difficult. But Davey has gotten himself out in front, and there you go. Despe gets caught. Android, the smoke clears, and he finds the shot. Because they've played that before, and now Davey, because he was able to lurk out through T-Con all the way down past Sandwich, he's going to be able to find 2 kills out of it. This is the first time that we've seen Canada really do anything into a round, and it's a pretty clean one at that. They keep all 5 players alive, a handful of damage on the 2 players, but that's all to speak of. And Canada are going to get their second round on the board. So a good look from them, but one of the things that I wanted to point out was how scary is it when you've got a player, you know, that we keep hyping up, Xanteras, who has been phenomenal throughout this tournament thus far. Yeah. And then you play them. I mean, this came down to this was Canada's choice. Yep. They could have chosen either Dust 2 or Train. They opted to go on a Train to see how things went, but so far it's not looking that good. Do you think that they might have fared better if they went on to Dust 2?
Well, I mean, we saw them play Denmark on Dust 2 earlier today, right? And it wasn't necessarily that their approach to the map was any issue. It was a very close game. It went down to the wire.
Yeah,
and
it was 16-13, I believe.
Yeah, so it comes down to whether or not they want to try to replicate that. I'm not surprised that Canada left this one out to go towards Train. They've always kind of left that within the map veto pool, and it just seems to be that this is the time they get it. Now, unfortunately for them, they're playing versus Despe, a very formidable opper, right? So this map is his complete comfort zone. He is in a very good position to play well, which he is doing, not to mention, of course, Xanteras being up there as well. So it's not just like it's one player on the side of Turkey, which sometimes happens that they have to deal with, but it's both of the expected top fraggers doing their job and exceeding what they have to do. It's just been this, you know, one-sided stop thus far.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing. Xanteras being the second from the closest to the camera. We were kind of talking about the way that he plays. I've never seen somebody play with their face so close to the monitor before. I'm not even kidding. He's literally maybe 10 centimeters away from the screen. It's ridiculous. I don't know how he can see anything. It's like all peripheral reactionary because you can see such a small part of the screen, and it can't be good for his eyes. It cannot be good for his eyes. I expect to see him wearing glasses in like the next year.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous.
Clearly it's good for his results.
Whatever it is, it works because, like I said, I've never seen somebody. I mean, his nose is damn near touching the monitor when he plays, and he's nuts. So whatever works for you, man. Everybody's got their style. You know, some people still play with the arrow keys, like Existence, from formerly of Titan, now of LDLC. And, you know, even Desi in the North American scene, he still plays with arrow keys.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's weird. That's why when he's actually got a very unique setup as well, which is when he plays, he actually puts his keyboard behind his monitor.
So he can get closer.
So he can get closer to it. Because he plays with the arrow keys, it's to reserve space on small desks. Yeah. So he's got an interesting setup. My most favorite setup that I ever saw at a LAN when I went there was back in the 1.6 days, a player named Mailer, M-E-H-L-E-R. He was a legend, North American, very, very strong player. And he used to play with his monitor all the way to the left side of his body. So he would sit positioning in the chair towards the right with his mouse and keyboard on one side, and his monitor was like by his left shoulder.
That's very
So he was constantly like looking directly down into his left. If anybody, I'm sure that somebody can find a picture of that online. If you just Google Mailer CPL or something like that, you could probably find a picture of that. That was one of the most interesting setups that I've ever seen.
I saw for the very first time in a very long time, the last LAN I did, a player who'd use left-handed mouse.
I've seen that a couple of times. There was a player from the old Zex lineup in 1.6 named Titus who used to play with who was left-handed. I'm actually left-handed, but I use the mouse on the right-hand side. I play with an inverted mouse.
That's very peculiar.
The only pro, now I'm not comparing myself to this by any stretch of the imagination because let's be honest, I'm crap at CS. But the only pro in the scene that I know that plays with an inverted mouse is Maniac.
Yep.
Old pro was Rambo from Team 3D. Play with an inverted mouse.
I mean, everybody has their niche, right? Everybody has their swag.
Well, I grew up playing flight simulators where when you push forward on the joystick, the nose tips down and you look down. When you pull back, you look up. So that's where I got that from. Xantaris on the op now. Curious.
Yeah.
So the double op setup pays off for Canada. This time around, they're going to answer the call with their own double op setup from Turkey, so it's going to be interesting to see.
Ooh, great flashbang's going to blind Despy. He drops in, and that's right to Davy's crosshair. So that's an excellent usage of utility in order for Davy to create more space. This is back-to-back rounds now. He's found these 2Ks within the train yard, but Xantaris has a very rapid response, and the bomb is still left out towards T-spawn. So Canada's not going to be able to execute off of this situation, but they do still have some presence in the upper brown halls. And now the bomb, having been procured, is going to start working its way towards the unit. And still, it is a one-man defense over here towards A. The rotation within the Z connector still close by. Xantaris, if need be, can head out towards the A site, but Calyx has done a good job of taking down one and dealing damage to Daps as well. And Xantaris on that fast rotation is dealt with by Twist, leaving only Major standing. It's a 1 versus 3, and two opponents incredibly tagged. As the bomb goes down, it will be Canada with a double op after plant scenario, and Semphis lands the shot to find Canada a third round. Excellent stuff, back-to-back. It's exactly what they needed when they are, of course, so close to the end of the first half. If Turkey had been able to continue with that form, Canada would have been locked out. This time, there is still a chance.
No, it's a triple op setup on the terrorist side. Daps is going to have one as well. That last round was actually incredibly scary for Canada because that flank, if it would have come in a second earlier, he could have denied the bomb plan, and then he would have only had 2 low HP players to contend with at the end of that round.
You're absolutely right.
So luckily he misses the opening gambit with Semphis, who was the high HP player, but there was no cover for the flank play. Now it's going to be Major with the Desert Eagle inside that finds Davy. So there goes one of the AKs. There goes the mobility for the round. And it's still this triple op setup from the terror side of Canada. Curious to see the least. But we'll see if it pays off. I mean, Daps, he's not really known for his op. He's not particularly known for his fragging ability, but we'll have to see. Maybe spotting out. Oh, just the leg there, yeah. I like that you turned off the X-ray for that for just a second, but there you go. Semphis is going to be able to capitalize on the death space, so they're at least starting to win this op-on-op battle.
I mean, when Daps misses that shot, it's then that Despay turns his attention towards T-Con and starts to peek out. So even with the missed opportunity, Semphis is able to capitalize on the situation that did occur because of it. Still now a 4 versus 4, but Semphis, his body was peeking out wide. He's going to take damage as Paz dances around the E-box to find 2, shutting Canada out of that A site. And still now they will continue to tumble, but Android able to at least grab 1. He, of course, is the only player on Canada with still a decent amount of HP. Daps is trying to work his way towards that bomb, but Paz is so damn close. Xantaris drops as Android continues to create... Oh, I was going to continue this opportunity until, of course, the bomb is now dropped. 25 seconds on the clock. There's no way Android can hat this round.
That was actually a really nice play from Paz. He knows that Daps was over there by T-Con, and he knows that the other player is over and inside. So with those 2 picks coming out, he knows that he's going to be able to find himself into a favorable position over there. And there goes the flashbang out, and unfortunately Android is going to bite off a little more than he can chew. So the reset comes out. Turkey going to be able to pick up another round, and this was really nice from Paz. He does good damage, spins around, helps his teammate out, and then repositions. Semphis goes for the peak, and he punishes. So really good stuff from Paz that round. Gets the 3K as well, and pretty much single-handedly wins that round for his team. Now, you'll look at the scoreboard for Turkey. Look at the frag distribution. 14 at the top, 10 at the bottom. Only 4 kills separating it. Yeah, it's close on the Canadian side too, but they're not winning rounds.
Exactly.
You know, they're not winning a lot of these aim duels. With the fragging potential on Turkey's side, I mean, anybody can pop off at any time. We're going to see a scout inside.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe because they have that scout, it's allowed Canada to now cross things out. They haven't even taken a licking of damage as of yet, but not only do they have the B site under their control, they're now pushing forward as Davey, again, just as A tries to create some space. But you're right, Santeras with the Mag 7 finds the first, and Twist team kills Android. Now Davey's at least going to be able to capitalize as Major also is taken out. Still though, Calyx able to return back. It is a 2 versus 2, 100 HP on every player until that moment as Twist takes one, but manages to survive, and still the retake continues to push.
There is a Molotov in the hands of Daps, but they just smoked the bomb defuse area, so that's going to fizzle. He's going to have to come into a different angle. And he gets the timing right. He's going to be able to fall back too. Calyx can't get the refrag, so now Daps is in a favorable position. Flashbang's going to come out around the corner, and Daps is going to be able to repeat this one. Is he going to take the peek, though? Yes, he will. Is he going to get the frag? No, he won't. 12-3, Turkey. He got the angle just slightly wrong. It's a little bit unfortunate. He had the lineup, but that was actually really smart from Calyx. He didn't actually just run straight to the bomb and click it. He ran around the bomb to get an off angle and diffuse it from a cheeky different spot. That's one of the things that you'll see a lot of times in the pro division is like something will be planted at a default spot. They'll smoke it, and then they'll sit at a different angle, a goofy angle, because most of the time they're going to be spamming straight to the bomb. Yeah. And if you play it off to the side,
if you know their positioning, you can kind of predict that angle and then play off of it. So, as you said, great stuff. And obviously,
3 rounds for Canada.
That flashbang also creates a little bit of space, distracts them slightly. Canada on 3, but I mean, this is doable. It all comes down to the pistol. They need it, because if Turkey pick this up, go to 13, and then have the advantage in the next round, it almost becomes impossible. But this time, it's Canada's opportunity. It's got to be here. It's got to be now. They've got the double kit for the retake attempt, so at least they have that going for them, as it seems as though Turkey are taking this bomb towards B, where, of course, the plant is facilitated. Xanter is going to be dropping down in, but Semphis finds the opening frag. That's going to be a second. Excellently done, as now the bomb is dropped. It's going to be Major over towards A to at least bring it back slightly to the favor of Turkey. Twist trying to react back to this, and he too will find a headshot, so it's only Calyx and Despe now standing.
This is actually a really nice play from the Canadian side. They played so far back for the retake on inside, because that bomb site is much, much easier to retake than the outside train yard once you get proper positioning for the terrorist side. So without them being able to push forward in the inside train yard, they completely deny that. And it was a couple of really nice shots from Semphis. And then Twist over and T-Con is going to be able to, or pardon me, the Zed Hallway is going to be able to find a pair himself. And that leaves Calyx all by his lonesome. See if he can do any damage into this round. It would be nice for him to be able to take a little bit of armor off of these players. But Twist still sitting over here in Z. Going to be looking for it. He's got backup in Semphis as well, and both of these players are still sitting at 100 HP, basically. Calyx finds one. Twist taps him down. So they do get the body armor off of Semphis. So that's $650 repurchase that they're going to have going into the next round. So that's kind of important to think about. But aside from that, that was a very crucial pistol round for Canada to win. And here's the one taps, or the taps from Semphis, to open up that round with the back-to-back frags. This was really nice on his Antares.
Just before he landed, he almost had the opportunity to get back into cover, and with there not being any CTs nearby, he could have actually maybe found a bomb plant. But of course, because he doesn't, Turkey won't really have that opportunity for the round 3 buy, or at least not at this point. Depending on how this next round goes, as it is going to be Turkey with the armor and the deeks, there's a very real chance here, and that's going to be scary. Canada has to play this anti-force buy perfectly. It's going to be 4 players near the A site, and the man on B playing from the back lines. This is very passive. It's very safe. And I think that's the right thing to do at this moment, because Canada cannot afford to make a mistake at all.
Yeah, and it's actually Davey watching inner upper with a scout, so he's going to be able to get a lot of information if they start pushing in, because he's going to be able to take that range battle. And Android's going to get some intel as well over here towards Ivy's. The flashbang goes out. He's going to get tagged up. He's got to get himself out of this position. There you go. That Molotov will allow him to fall back if he so desires. But he still has yet to do so. Still just playing off in this little corner. And Semphis, though, going to be able to open up. Still looking for a little bit more daps over here by T-Con. He's going to be able to spray down one. Looking for a second, but it's Paz to answer the call. Now the long-range deke plays, trying to get it done, but it's Twist with the superior firepower in the M4 that finds Calyx and takes him down, and now it's all down to Paz. And it will be Semphis to pick up 2 with the SMG. So they do make a little bit of money into this round on Canada's side, and that's going to be crucial for them moving forward, because they absolutely need to keep their economy in a right place if they want to formulate any kind of a comeback. But 7 rounds now, the difference. Canada with a long way to go.
But I mean, if there's ever a map where you do see the comebacks after the switchover, it is going to be Train. It's one of the few, right? So, I mean, it's a situation where Canada, obviously, their back is still against the wall, but don't count them out as of yet because we saw the ability of the CT kind of momentum to take over, right? And again, Canada have done what they needed in dodging these early rounds. It's going to be Daps pushing in towards the bottom of ladder to take this one away from Turkey already. It's P250 still standing on the last three, but one of them drops and so does the other. It's Despe, the last man standing, and he does at least grab Android, so that's another frag to the favor of Turkey. Going to be dwindling down Canada by at least a smidgen, but still they will be able to facilitate the rebuy, and it's Semphis on an op already.
Yeah, and this is a big buy from both sides. We're going to see the op on Despe. Doesn't have armor behind it, so keep that in mind. So the aim punch is going to be a real factor into this one, and Daps is going to stay on the MP9, and I actually like this. He had a forward spawn, so expect him to go towards ladder room or play close E-box and have that mobility with that. And I'm wrong on both accounts. He's actually going to be on the bomb train. So, screw Mega Man, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, at least this position...
Now he's going up towards... Yeah, he's going up now.
But now at this point, it's going to be Turkey with the volley of nades already in towards that A site. And
ooh, that one smoke missed a little bit. It actually clipped the rail of the train. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but...
Still, Xantair is able to find two, so regardless of the smoke, the headshot still landing before Android has the first response. Davey chiming in with the second, but Calyx is going to be able to activate the bomb, and that one's going to be planted over towards the ladder T-Con after plant, where for the moment, Turkey do still possess map control. Luckily to their favor, everybody on the side of Canada trying to be coming in from the CT half of the map. Davey going to be creating a bit more space, and this just leaves Paz on health. Despe with 1 HP now has to clutch the 1v3, and he won't, as Semphis gives him a free haircut and takes number 7 here to Canada.
And that was all Xantaris at the beginning, but since then they didn't get any kills out of that. It was Davey that holds stalwart. He was playing on top of the bomb train, spotting out for those players that are getting up on top of green train on 5 lane. And he's able to find that first one, does great damage onto a second, and then falls back. Intelligently gets himself out of dodge because he knows the players can start pushing around the smoke at that point, and he had no backup. So he goes into Z hallway, and he actually lays a little bit more spam out through the smoke and finds some more damage, but eventually gets a player circling around the bomb train, and that was just really nice patience from Davey. Doesn't overextend, allows his teammates to rotate into formidable positions, and then they opt to go for the retake from Amanda's advantage. So it went from a 3-on-5 to a 3-on-0. So a really nice swap around, and unfortunately, Daps with the Mag 7 can't get it done, and Xantaris is going to find the opener.
This is scary because now Canada's on the back foot. So if Turkey were to just slow things down, especially into the 5v3, at this point, they may not have to slow down because they do have this little bit of an extra lead, but they should still be cautious as they don't want to give it away, and Twist will take back 1. So from the 2-player advantage to the back to the 1, and Semphis equalizing as Android takes it, but instantaneously, Turkey find 2 frags of their own, and it's up to Twist, the Youngblood, to clutch this out versus Despe and Paz, who currently have no utility. Twist with the double flash could isolate the 1v1s. He'll do exactly that as Despe's caught trying to find himself into the after plant, but Paz still close by with the AK prepared, and his crosshair lands the connection. It's Turkey with another one, and Canada coming to a bit of a halt. But now the big question, the big moment is, how do they bounce back? This is their opportunity. Canada also won rounds on their T side, but it came down to, of course, Turkey being able to reset them. This is what now Canada has to do. They have to replicate exactly that.
Here's the thing to look at. We saw this exact same thing happen to Canada in the first half, where the one round that they won, like early on, they lost 4 out of the 5 players. That came down to a 1v1 at the last part of that, and Canada still has a good, formidable buy into this. So if Canada wins this, that's going to be a hard reset for Turkey again. And it's going to be basically a replay of what happened in the first half, where they lost 9 weapons out of the 2 rounds, and they were forced to save, and that put them in a really awkward situation moving forward because they got into those goofy buy rounds. They went for the pistol buy, and then they had the triple pistol, double AK or AK Galil buy, and that really set them back for basically 3 rounds in the first half. So we'll see if that happens to Turkey here, because that would give Canada a great opportunity back into this map. You might see them get up to double-digit rounds before Turkey can even get another big buy.
At this point, Canada's just been holding fast for the entire round, allowing, of course, Turkey to take map control and prepare themselves for this execute. So it'll be a 3-pronged attack, but one of those prongs has already been broken as Android takes the first to major. 4 versus 5 brought to the 4v4 as Despe does return the favor, but Xantair's now adding another one in addition to Calyx's frag. It's going to be 2 players up here as Canada are sent reeling backwards. Semphis still has the angle and the distance to use this op properly, and what's important, of course, is that Turkey's players have been damaged. advantage. There's 3 men not sitting on 100 HP, and Semphis, with Davy's help, could very well find themselves back into the site. With Davy finding 1, it only becomes much more possible, and that, of course, was the player with the most HP.
And he actually spots out Despe playing on the back trailer hitches, but they're going to have to start pushing in. There is a kit that's presenting itself right in the front lines, but it looks like they're actually going to fall back and hang on to these rifles. And this is, I don't hate this call,
but it's a tough one.
It is a tough one to make. And it's one that, you know, you hear the sigh of, you know, I don't want to see him do that, but on the same accord, it's a necessity. They're not going to have a lot of money going into this next round, and the big part about this is they want to keep as many rifles in their hands as they can to continue to go for these buys to keep things close. They forfeit the 14th round. They're going to allow Turkey to get up to tie point, and potentially, if they lose this round, that could be the coffin nail. So they're putting all their eggs in one basket. They're going to go as big of a buy as they can into this round. You have to see what Android picks up. It's going to be a deagle. We know that he's got good pistols, so that's not going to be too big of a detriment. And they got another M4 and a FAMAS on the board, so we'll have to see. The outside execute coming out again, but it's a fast play by 2 players from Turkey inside towards the upper inner hallway, and they're just going to barrel on out here.
I mean, Davy's still here on the site, but he never sees this coming. Paz able to catch him looking the opposite direction, and Daps has to rotate over, and the bombs made it onto the site. Not only now are they going to have that bomb site planted, but they also have forward positioning. So even while Daps is at the back of the train, he's going to be cleared out with ease, and Major doing the same over here towards A. Now, Semphis still standing, missing the shot, unable to trade at the moment, but he does find it after a moment. Now a second. Calyx also taken down. It's a 1 versus 3. Semphis looking to obviously survive this situation, but Despe has other plans. And at this point, that's the problem, is Canada had used that little wiggle room they were left after the first half. It's now been taken. It's 15 rounds for Turkey, and even if Canada are able to bounce into this one, despite having a horrid economic situation, they're not going to be allowed any other mistake. This is do or die for 8 consecutive rounds. Turkey, at this moment, should never lose this game.
Yeah, and I really was hoping to see more out of Canada. Their T side, I mean, really put them in a big hole moving forward onto the CT side. If they got 5 rounds, you know, we'd still be playing this one out, but they're going to go a little bit aggressive over towards Ivy, take a peek, fall back. It's 5 sevens and a deagle, and that's the most that they can muster into this one. I don't want to count them out because you can definitely do work with 5 sevens on this one, but Paz finding Davy at the beginning of this one, it's going to be a very difficult and tall task for the rest of the CTs to kind of combat.
Still, they will try valiantly at that. 3 players near the A site, but Xantares, he's going to be using the verticality of position to give that over-the-shoulder support, but he won't really need it as Major's able to find the first, traded back by Daps, and now Paz looking to do the same, but it's another 5-7 frag, and we said it's possible, but Xantares closes that situation. It's still Semphis now with the wide peak, finds the headshot luckily as Calyx damn near almost traded him out. It's a 2v2, of course, with Turkey still over here towards T-Con. That smoke grenade going to force their hand as now they have to start to inch their way closer to the bomb site. Twist with the first, and Despe able to find the second. It's going to be Semphis with only 1 point of health, but he has at least retrieved the AK. He has no choice but to go for the play, and Despe shuts him down. Canada with 7, but Turkey with 16, and that is a flawless group stage in the first 2 days. That's excellent stuff from Turkey.
That without a doubt seals the top spot for Turkey. They're going to take the #1 seed going into the arena tomorrow. So big stuff from them. And it's like we said before, it's a team that almost didn't even make it here. Comes in and just stomps out the opening couple of days, and they looked really, really good. I mean, across the board. I didn't get a chance to look at the final score for some of those players, but for me, if I was to put a vote in on the man of the match, I would say it was Despe.
Yeah, I could absolutely agree with you that one. But I mean, this is a fairy tale story here at EFrag. Turkey, as you mentioned, barely making the cut, but they go through it flawlessly. And we're going to head this one back, of course, to the analyst desk one last time today to close things out. Tom, it's all yours.
Boys, thank you so much. What an amazing game. Canada taking on Turkey.